Alright, hello folks. This is Henry. I'm going to do a demonstration based upon the Facebook posting I shared, I think about a week or two ago, of featuring two people, guys that were handling and mishandling a firearm. There was a handler and then there was a camera guy. So one guy working the action of the firearm, pistol, and the other guy videotaping it. Neither one of these people knew how to properly handle a firearm, and as a result, that firearm discharged into a table in a hotel room, destroying property that is not theirs, and very nearly harming the handler of the firearm. He very easily could have shot his hand. And so what I've got set up here is my normal gear. This is nothing that I bought specific for this video or for this event. This is all stuff I've owned for years, and even a decade, just about. And so I'm going to go over these pieces and parts and show to you how to properly handle a pistol, and how to properly clear it, as in to empty it, and to verify that it is empty and that it is clear and safe and inert to handle, and how not to hurt yourself and end up on in making videos of yourself looking like an idiot. First thing, I've got my range kit. This is I've had this for years. Anybody watching this video that knows me will recognize it. It's got all my gear in it: thread locker, hearing protection, etc. Again, anybody that's seen me at a range or seen me at an event, or seen me in any kind of way whatsoever handling firearms among the public, they will recognize this kit. I'm almost famous for having it. The Stanley Mobile Work Center. I got two of these. I love them. They work great. The other thing that I have here is a safe direction pack. Now this is a ballistic panel bag. It is one large panel that zips up the side and around on 3 points and creates a bag. On the back side, it's got a little storage area, and this is where I keep spare magazines and spare parts for the pistol that is in here. This is one of my competition guns, and I keep it inside of here, secure it away. Now, the reason I have this out, though, and the reason that I use this at ranges, is that Safe Direction, the company that manufactured this, I'm not sure if they're still in business, they made these bags so that when you go to a range, you have a place to physically put your firearm, put the muzzle of the firearm, so that when you're going to clear it and do business with it, you have a safe place to point the muzzle while you're among otherwise public space, so that if it were to discharge because you did something stupid, the bullet would go into the bag and be stopped by this ballistic panel. And again, there's two panels, so you can use this with a rifle, you can use this with a shotgun even, and definitely with a handgun, and it will stop the round and prevent persons from being harmed. I've had this for years. As you can tell, it's got some mileage to it. Good product. If you can find one of these on used on a gun site or eBay or what have you, I give it a thumbs up. I endorse it. Invest. Alright, so for this activity, I've got 6 rounds. These are A to Zoom brand facsimiles. So these are not real bullets. These are not real rounds. These are spun aluminum facsimiles, imitations of a round. So you've got the casing, you got the projectile, and you got the base, and then you've got right there the primer. And the primer on these is a soft rubber piece, so that when the hammer drops down on it, whether you're using a conventional hammer or using meaning centerfire, or using something sort of like a basically any kind of hammer, and all the A to Zooms have this rubber piece so that it doesn't damage the hammer or the firing pin of your I'm sorry, not the hammer, the firing pin, as it goes to hit the primer on these rounds. So you can use these indefinitely. They are tough. They don't wear out, they don't break easily, and they won't damage your firing pin, unlike some other products that are out there. Again, I'm a fan of A to Zoom. I've got at least one set, if not two, for every caliber and gauge of firearm that I own. And I said gauge because I have these for shotgun too. Yes, they're expensive, but it's far less expensive than using live rounds and trying to use that for training or for manipulation and so forth, which is stupid in my humble opinion. It is not wise, not smart. I've got here a magazine, and this magazine is designed to handle and support these rounds. These rounds, by the way, are imitations of 45 ACP, sometimes referred to as 45 automatic. All right. And then I've got here a firearm, and you'll notice that it is holstered. This is a subcompact firearm. It is specifically a 1911 format firearm. The entire time I do this video, you'll notice now and throughout the entirety of it, the muzzle end, the business end, will always be facing the safe direction pack. Now, although I do not have any live ammunition here in this area, I don't even have any live ammunition out. All of it's locked up, but nonetheless I'm going to duplicate the things that I normally would do even if I did have live ammunition. So muzzle, safe direction, and the firearm is holstered. Now the reason that I have it holstered, even though it is inert right now, is to protect the finish of the gun, and more importantly, see that? I can't manipulate the trigger. So there's no trigger manipulations possible, and as well the front sight is protected because on handguns the front sight is quite less robust. It is more apt to being damaged or broken than that of the rear sight. The rear sight is very robust, very strong. I'm speaking generally. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and you'll notice that the hammer is down. Now this is again a 1911 format firearm. You cannot put the hammer down on a 1911 that has ammunition in it. To do so is highly susceptible for discharge. So when I store my 1911s and I have the hammer down and inside of a holster, then that is a visual indicator to me that this gun is absolutely unloaded. Okay, and therefore it is inert and safe. There is no round in the chamber. All right, so right now there's no magazine in the mag well. It is empty, as you can see. All right, the hammer is down. I'm going to go ahead and slide away. See, slide away the holster, put that to the side, and right now again the muzzle stays pointed in a safe direction. All right, now I'm going to open the action on this gun. Okay, so I'm holding the grip, I'm holding the frame, and I'm going to pull the slide back, and see that? Nothing ejects. But to be doubly safe, I am going to use my thumb to manipulate the slide hold, which is this right there. All right, so I'm going to reach under, push down, and see I pushed it up, and now the slide holds back. Now that was an unusual way to do it, doing under like that, but I want you guys to be able to see what I was doing. I'm going to release the slide hold again, and now you see the hammer has gone back. See, so that happens automatically. When the slide goes back, the hammer stays rearward, and now this firearm is what's called cocked. And by being cocked, it is now ready, if I touch the trigger, for the hammer to drop. So I'm going to slide back again. I've activated manually the slide hold, and this pistol, this handgun, is a Colt Defender. So again, it's a 1911 format firearm. I'm using this one specifically because it's the same size as the gun that the guy was handling in the video. I don't have the exact same type of firearm that he has, which is a striker fired gun, but it doesn't really matter. Everything else applies as it goes to firearm safety. All right. So we know the magazine well is empty, and we know now that the chamber, as we see here, the chamber is empty. All right, I'm maintaining muzzle pointing at the safe direction pack. So the chamber is empty, the magazine's empty, and doing a manual check. So I've got no ammunition in there. So I was accurate in that with the hammer down and the slide forward, this gun was inert. It's nothing more than a piece of metal, no more dangerous than a plumber's hammer, or plumber's hammer, a plumber's wrench or a framing hammer. It's just a piece of metal with some wood slabs on the side. It has no ability to harm a person unless I take and throw it at somebody or hit them with it like that. Okay, but otherwise it cannot discharge. There's no ability for it to function. All right, I'm going to lay this down for a moment, and I'm going to put an ejection port up. This, by the way, is called the ejection port. This is where the rounds eject up and out. So I'm going to put an ejection port up, again muzzle facing in the safe direction, in the way of the safe direction pack. Going back to these rounds, I'm going to show you how to load a magazine. So this is the magazine. Rounded side imitates the rounded front of the projectile. The flat back side imitates the flat back side of the projectile, of the rim. All right. So you take that, push it in, push it down and back. All right. Down and back. Oh, and by the way, it's got these holes here that you can see if you have any rounds in there once they start to get lowered down. Down and back, and now you see the first one's covered. So there's one round there, two more above. Down and back. Another hole is covered. So one, two more above. Down and back. Another hole is covered. One, two, three, two more above. And then this one, notice that this round is really chewed up and scarred up, and the finish is all worn off. Again, these things are awesome. I've been using these for literally just about 2 decades. This brand, I'm a huge fan of A to Zoom, and there are other manufacturers that make facsimile rounds. I found these to be the best, and they last forever. It's one solid piece of aluminum. But this one in particular is one of my oldest. It is all chewed up again and whatnot. So we're going to put this on the top because this will be a visual indicator for us in just a moment. So this will go there on the top. You see that? And we got a full magazine. All right. All right. And 1, 2, 3, 4 holes covered, 2 remaining. So 4 plus 2, we got 6 rounds in there. All right. Now, and as you can see, it's got one more hole. So this is a 7-round capacity magazine. All right, so this is a low capacity or non-standard capacity magazine, but that's because this is a compact firearm. All right, so now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pick up the firearm. All right, and I'm going to load. And the way that you load a pistol is that the magazine goes in the base like so. All right, see that? And then it has a magazine release button. It's right there. All right, and allows it to come out. And normally these fall out by gravity, so I'm going to insert, and I'm going to hit the button, and see, it comes right on out. Insert, and comes right on out. Insert, and comes right on out. All right. So insert, and now when it's with it inserted, you'll be able to see that round that's all scarred up and old is right there sitting on top. All right. Now that's key. With it sitting on top, right there on top, all right, it is first to get loaded into the gun when the slide goes forward, and this will happen automatically. So when I release the slide hold, see that? And you hear that noise? That's the first round, the topmost round on the magazine being stripped off and loaded into the chamber. Right now, this gun is considered loaded and cocked and chambered. Okay, so 3 different conditions. All right, now it is also with the frame safety on, off. With it off, if I touch the trigger, the hammer will drop, firing pin inside will move forward, strike the round, and discharge the gun. Safety on, the slide is physically locked. Okay? As well, the trigger is physically locked, so it won't move. Now again, this is a 1911 format firearm. The one that the gentleman or the handler was using in the video was a striker firearm by, I believe it was a Glock, but it may have been a Springfield Armory. I'm not sure. I just don't remember offhand. I could identify it if I were to see the video again, but it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, when you touch the trigger and the safety is disabled on those types of firearms, the safety is built into the trigger. So as soon as you touch the trigger and apply pressure, the gun will go off, and that's what those boys experienced. So I'm going to turn the safety off manually, all right, and notice that nothing's happening. The firearm will not discharge. The firearm will not discharge. The hammer will not drop unless I touch the trigger. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. But I want you to pay attention to what's going to occur. All right, so I'm going to take my pistol hand. My finger is off the trigger. I am going to go ahead and touch the trigger. Okay, can you see that? I'm going to go ahead and touch the trigger, and I can touch it with light pressure and nothing happens. But if I touch it and I pull it back with heavy pressure, and notice the strain in my finger, with heavy pressure, the hammer drops. Now the hammer dropped and it struck the firing pin that's inside the slide, and that firing pin went forward and struck the primer that is on the round. If this gun had had live ammunition, right now the projectile, the gun would have barked, it would have made an explosion sound, because that's literally what happens. It's a small explosion. The projectile would have come out and struck the safe direction pack. All right, and that would have been a discharge. And that's what occurred to those dudes mishandling the firearm. My finger's still on the trigger, by the way. I'm going to now remove my finger from the trigger. And now what happened in the video and what would happen in real life is that the slide would automatically go back and eject the first round that was fired and load another. I'm going to activate the frame safety, put the gun down with the ejection port up, and I'm going to show you this round that popped out. And look at that. It's that chewed up one. You see that? It's the chewed up round. Alright? So, we'll put that there. Now, what the dude in the video did, now notice this gun is back in the same condition that it was to start. Slide forward, hammer back. I manually activated the safety. Okay? But in the video, the guy had the gun set up like this. I'm going to turn the safety off, this manual safety off, and what he did is he removed the magazine. Okay, so pushing the magazine release, he removed the magazine. Hey, look, magazine's out, and there are the bullets, right? He made the wrong assumption that this magazine was what feeds the gun, and that the gun was therefore empty thereafter. He was wrong. Now remember we talked about those holes before? How many of them are filled now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. See now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wasn't there 6 before? Yep. So where's that round? Where's that missing round? Where do you think it might be? In the gun. Watch this. Up, and there it is. There's that missing round. This is how a handgun works. Okay? So we're going to duplicate it again. I'm going to put that missing round back in the magazine. I'm going to put the beat up round on top so it's a highly visible example. Alright? I'm going to put the magazine back in the magazine well. Okay? And I'm going to drop the slide as so. Okay? Frame safety on. This is a loaded firearm, cocked and locked. Okay? I'm going to unlock or remove the manual frame safety and drop the magazine, putting the safety back on, ejection port back facing up, and muzzle facing in the safe direction bag. Alright. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Empty hole. Number 6 is in the gun. And look at that. The beat up round that I had put on top is not there. Magic bullet is in the gun. It's in the gun. So if you ever are handling a pistol, specifically a semi-automatic, and you see someone remove the magazine, do not assume that because the magazine has been removed, that the gun is inert and that it is now safe. It is not. Magic bullet. Frame safety off, finger off the trigger. I cycle the action and it fell right on out. Magic bullet. See? That's how that works. Those gentlemen, those people did not know any better and therefore very nearly damaged their physical body themselves. They did fire the gun into the wood of the table. The muzzle was face down and it hit the table, and now they've got property damage, and who knows where that round went beyond the table. Absolutely, the table did not stop it. It just bore right through it like it was going through paper. So where that round came to rest, who knows, the video ended. The other thing that I had a problem with on that video that I wrote about, I'm going to close the action. Oh, by the way, right now, no magazine, chamber is empty and clear. This is now, again, an inert gun, so it cannot hurt me. Alright? So I'm going to drop the action. I'm going to pull the trigger. Alright? And see that? I'm going to pull the trigger, and so now this gun is completely inert and closed up. Oh. Yeah, so I'm doing it now. I totally lost track of the time. Go ahead and kick your shoes off and you can finish, you can help me with the editing when I'm done.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll have to edit this part out where I went to go get you. Okay.
Can you use the other camera?
So I'll tell you why. We went to get your equipment set up. You know, so next time I need to do something, it's just, you just grab it and it's ready to roll. Okay, so right now, you can just look at the thing. Alright, so the gun is right now inert, as I mentioned. It's got no ammunition, no magazine, no round in the chamber. There's our 6th round, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got an account for all pieces and parts that we started out with. The gentleman, the handler in that video, not only did the gun go off, but prior to it going off, he couldn't figure out how to manipulate the gun. He put his hand in front of the muzzle. Okay, that's a no-no. If the gun goes off, boom, the projectile is going to come out like that and go right through my hand. Now, if a table won't stop a bullet, your hand in the soft flesh, muscle, and bone absolutely is definitely going to be no problem for it to go through and come out the backside and just keep on trucking. And now you've lost your hand. You got a problem. Okay? Not good. Alright. So, the guy didn't know how to work the slide. Now, on compact handguns, on compact type pistols, the recoil spring that's inside of here that makes the slide go back and forth, they typically are pretty heavy. For a reason. It's because they have a less amount of mass on the slide, a lower amount of mass on the slide, which makes it much more difficult to work the action. It is for an advanced user. I've been saying this for years, and most people don't listen. But it's true. Smaller guns are for advanced users, not for brand new people. And so as it goes to this, to work the action, you have to have some muscle strength, both in. So that's what we're covering of a semi-automatic handgun. A pistol would be a revolver, and revolver is completely different, but it's just not relevant because that's not what occurred in the video. So the people were handling a semi-automatic pistol, and they're all semi-automatic. There's no point in talking about even saying semi-automatic. It's a handgun. You're not going to come across any fully automatic handguns ever in your life. You're only going to see them in movies and hear about them in fiction books, period. All right? So we're going to go ahead and put this back away and make it inert. So no magazine, no rounds in the chamber, checking physically, manually with my pinky finger. I'm going to go ahead and drop the slide, maintaining direction at my safe direction bag. I'm going to go ahead and touch the trigger, drop the hammer, get my holster, put it back away, and then this will go back in my safe where it's been for, I don't know, months. I can't remember the last time I discharged that gun, or even chose to carry it. It's an unusual piece, and it's basically now sits being saved for my kids when they get older. And then I'll put the rounds and these dummy rounds away, and I'll put the magazine back locked up. I usually keep the magazines locked separate from the firearm. Alright, so that's all I got for you folks, and I hope you learned something from this and enjoyed the video. Thank you for your time.